All right, we are back, and I figured out what was going on with our database. In the backend, which is a Node.js Express backend that I created for this, so it's not really part of the course, our tasks were coming in a just sort of completely random order. Now, most of the time, they were coming in order of creation, but sometimes they would just stop doing that and come in just a different order. So I just went in there and I threw in an order by on the SQL query, and that fixed it all up. So if we come back to our Cypress tests, we'll see that we get past that section every time now. And now it's asking for the data test description. So it wants some kind of paragraph for us. And that is going to be where that's going to go right down here. Probably just like whatever the description is. I'm not actually sure. Does this one have a description? Let's take a look. Yep, they both have like a this is my description, and my description can be changed. All right. Let's uh let's just put that as a description down here. And you're going to be looking for just data test description. So I think this can just be another BB text. Let's get going with this. We're going to be in a one task page. We can now throw in a BB text. The text is going to be equal to the task dot description. We're going to do an unwrap our default because it's possible that it's empty. And let's see, data test. Okay, we want our data test to be equal to description. We want this to be a normal, like just a normal one. That's fine. Color to be normal also is fine. So I think this might be as much as we need to do. Let's try this. So I want to actually come here, and up we're gonna get this is my description right next to that one. Not exactly what I was going for. Let's move. Let's like have another paragraph down. So I'm thinking I want to group these together. Okay, yeah. So we have this div class row. So I kind of want just another row here. Maybe move that down. There we go. Okay, and then we have a this is my description. Okay, so I think that'll work and just be a very fast solve for this. Let's go ahead and rerun our tests and see how far we get. Okay, what was that error? Ooh, okay, so uh, should load the task. Okay, should load the details for a single task. So we got all of those. Excellent. Now we're on to should be editable. Okay, so we created a new account. We got a task link for the first one. We clicked on it, and we should now find some kind of edit icon. So we are the plan here is to have buttons up here in the nav bar for edit and delete. So we'll go ahead and start with edit. So we want two buttons up here. So you can be like task buttons, like task editing button. I guess like task edit buttons. We can probably create that as a oh, what is it? It's got the word for it. Uh, a molecule because it's really just two buttons next to each other. So let's do that. Do a task edit buttons. Are we gonna need Yew.rs for this? Possibly. Although I think that the this one just always displays, and the nav bar, which is an organism, is going to be in charge of whether or not they display. So maybe I don't need Yew.rs for this. But they probably will need to know like where we're taking them. And I think we're going to use links for it. But let's go ahead and sort of like play around with this first. So we know we're going to need we're going to use link buttons. So we're actually going to use create components atoms link. And then I think the link type. We'll need styling. Well, do we need styling? We might not need styling. Let's see. We might want styling to make sure they go next to each other. So, but that'll come in a bit. Okay, so we'll do a styled component. This is a task edit buttons. Do we need properties for this? I don't know if we necessarily do. We'll hold that off until we actually know if we do or not. Style sheet. My guess is that we're going to need a style sheet to make them actually go next to each other. So just like a very simple display flex. Okay, so we'll probably want some kind of div that everything is wrapped around in. So we'll do that and apply our style sheet to here. Then we're going to have two buttons. Or rather, we're going to have two links. And let's remind ourselves what links take. So we have a text. We go ahead and just open that up next to us. Okay, so we have a text. In this case, we're going to want this to be like edit task. We have our data test, and you are looking for just edit. We have route, which is where it's going to. Right, okay, so we need that too. Now where do I want to go? I want this to go to some kind of edit page, but we don't have an edit page right now. So what if I just send you home? Um, ooh, actually that's gonna be a good point. Is how do we know where to go? Oh, I guess like the other one we'll just load it up, right? So okay, never mind. We'll be fine. So we have a route. We have our link type, which we want this to be more of a button type. Okay. So creating this is one thing. Then I need to actually use it. And so we're going to do that in navbar. Okay, so where do I want to go with this? I'm going to pull you in here. Okay, so we have this is that BB link up here. So that's you. And then we have welcome over here. So we have this like if we're logged in, displaying that. We probably want one more sort of section in here. And this is going to be another if statement if we're on a specific page. Let's like maybe like just display it right now. But I'm fairly certain we're going to wrap this in an if statement, and that way only have it if we're on if our route is a specific page. We can actually get that, can't we? Can we actually figure out what route we're on? Okay, so then I want to load up. This is going to be task edit buttons. Hey, and there's our edit button right there. It's sort of in the middle with everything else. The only reason this is sort of messy is our username is really long. But that's fine. We're not trying to make this the most amazing visuals ever. Okay, so when we click this right now, this is taking us back to home. We probably want to take this to like a task edit page, like something very similar to this other page, but it's going to be um, instead of just like displaying things, it's now going to be uh, the form fields. Okay, so that does mean we need someplace for it to take us to. Also, we want to make sure this doesn't exist back here. So we want you gone at this point. Let's see if we can get that. What is it called? We can get like what route we're on. And I think we can with a use. It's one of the use statements. So like let. I think it's the history because we need to pull in the prelude for Yew.rs. And that's going to give us use history, use location. Location might be good. Okay, so if we do history, let's unwrap you. Because we're in the router, we should definitely have that. Okay, history dot. So you're in any location. Okay, so we have path name. We have path name and a route like this. So It's an option unknown. Do I have to tell you a type? So I want route. Okay, option route. So unwrap you. Okay. Then I probably want to do something like, okay, so here, use location. Might as well just get a route. Do that all in one line. It gives us our current route. I then want to use this route to see if it matches against where we are. Is our route... You implement partial equals, so I should actually just be able to do that route equals and then one of these. So if that's the case, then I want to put that inside of here. So if current route, if you equal route, for edit task, I want you to display only if we're on like the one task. So one task. Let's see. Expected value found. Oh, right. We need to. Wait a second. So we have there if this is fine here. You want this to go with parentheses, huh? I wonder if we could use we could also use the matches macro. Oh, because one task has this thing in there. Oh, but we don't know what that is. Ooh, okay. So I want you to be okay. I think with matches, we can maybe do that a little bit nicer. If matches macro, so the way that matches macro works is that we give it a pattern to see if it matches, and we can use these with enums, and it's two things. Does it matter what the position is? Like something, and then it is. So it gets our variable on the left. That'll be the current route. And then what we want to match it to, which is going to be the route one task. But then I want this ID. I don't care what you are. It can be anything. If you're just on this route. Okay, and you're not yelling at me. Ooh, and so I don't see that anymore. I come in here and bam, edit, come back, and it's gone. Okay, so excellent. That's how we can match to determine whether or not to display that button. Okay, excellent. Right now the edit button is just taking me home, and now I want it to take me to an edit route, some kind of edit page. So I'm thinking probably just edit task. I'm fairly certain we're going to need Yew.rs in here. Actually, there's no prelude for Yew.rs functional, isn't there? So I guess we'll just be fine with this. So we'll do, it's going to be an edit task. We're going to do the same thing with the other one. We're going to have the ID come in. Okay, so we create our section here like this, and right away we probably want to just display, I don't know, some kind, we'll just do like an H1, like just edit task so we know that we're here. And we know we're going to take in a pub ID, which is a U32. Let's actually pull in that too. Okay. We'll need to head over to our router. Let's see. So create. This is gonna be our components. Oh, actually, do we have them separately? Yes, I have them under pages. Edit task, edit task. So I'm thinking will be tasks, the ID, and then edit. Something like that. Okay, so that should load up our edit task, which does mean we need to come back into edit task now. We do need, wait, not edit task, navbar. So we need to know where to send this to. So we actually do need to have this, don't we? We need to grab out uh, this test. Oh, we can get it from the query, can't we? So that's the one thing. If we can get the current route from here, and I don't remember off the top of my head, is it current route, or is it history? I think it might be history. Yeah, push with query. I want to get the query parameters. I don't want to replace. I want to grab that equal. That I guess the current route we can also maybe grab that out too. Let me go see where we're doing this in one page. One task. Uh, actually no, it's not one task. It's those links. So it's on the main page, isn't it? It's on home. Because each of these tasks. So in home we have our list of tasks. That's in the organism. Here we go. Okay. So the route is going to be this ID. Okay, task.id. So we're going to get the task. Which, oh, I guess we're already passing it through here. So we don't need to get it through the URL. Interesting. Okay, so I guess now we do need to get that. We need to get that because at this point of time, we don't know where we are. And it's possible we're in different places because the nav bar is sort of outside. I mean, it's in the router, so it has access to all those things, but it's also outside of like it handles different routes. So we do need to grab this out here. I believe that there was a documentation thing on this. Let's go take a look. So let's see, query parameters. I don't want to take them. I want to read them. This is setting, isn't it? Oh wait, location.query is used. Okay, so we have use location. Oh, that gives us a route, so we can do use another use location. So what do I want? History. This is going to be the task ID. It's going to be use location, unwrap that, and then query. Unwrap you. Is it unwrap? Because we actually might not have this. This might be, we might not want to unwrap this. We're gonna have to handle this one. Okay. So, we have our results, query, and I want you. I bet I need to tell you exactly what you are. So query. Do I just tell you that's a U32 because it's the ID of the task? Maybe. Oh, but that's probably not right, right? Because our like so this task in like the project that we're working on for this, or this page really in this route, is an anonymous struct. And so we can see it here. That's what we're getting out. Can I really just say that it's ID? I don't know if I can. I want to grab all of these. What are you gonna look like? Are you gonna like destructure this, or probably not destructure? Are you gonna like somehow give it to me in some state that I can grab it in? Where are we? We're in navbar. So use location, unwrap, query. That takes a type that does give me this as a U32, but I feel that that's wrong because I need it to be the something that takes like that ID. I almost wonder if I need like another struct up here. So let's just try creating one. We're gonna create a pub struct. This is gonna be a nav ID. We're gonna derive, I think, I think at the very minimum, we need to derive serialize and deserialize. And maybe I can then give nav ID here. I mean, so it's not yelling at me, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything yet because this might be a run, like a runtime thing. So we have a task ID here, and let's just set that. Okay, so now that we have that, I want to set that as a to link here. So you're gonna be, let's see, task. Oh, task edit buttons. So it wouldn't be here. It would be the task edit buttons we need to do this in. Hold on. Let's move this around. You're going to come, cut you out. In here is where we're going to do that. Which also means temporarily we're going to put this stuff in here too. I think this would be best to go into the sort of like the nav, the router section. Let's throw that in there. And then for this ID, we grab you. Now I want, instead of route home, I now want this to be route one task. ID is going to be the task ID.id. Let's see if that works. You don't like this. Cannot find, oh, user location. That's because we need to pull in the router prelude. And no field ID on type, task ID, which is, oh, this is a result. Okay, so it is possible. Well, at this point in time, we're now only loading this if it does exist. So now we should actually be okay with unwrapping. So let's see, we unwrap, then we do query. What if we unwrap again here? What are you upset about? Oh, serialize and deserialize. We need to pull in Serde serialize and deserialize. I don't have any errors. Let's see if that works. Let's come up and check. Oh, this is happy. Okay, so we called an unwrap on an error value. I am on task. Let's navigate away from task for a second. Just come back here. Okay, so we're okay. No errors if I navigate in here. And now we have an unwrap on an error value. Missing field ID on line 17. So task edit buttons, line 17. Okay, so it's trying to find, it's trying to grab this and like actually serialize or deserialize into here. And from our router is probably trying to grab that from like from this. Now that has an ID. They're both exactly the same. So what can we grab out of this from? Maybe we need to maybe we do a little bit more research into our Yew router and find out where things are. Specifically, let's actually go to our this is a Yew router. Let's go to crates and go like search our documentation there. So I want to get the query. So return the queries of current URL parsed as T. Oh, so it's actually just checking the URL. So it doesn't actually care about that crate that's coming in. It it is, where is it? Oh, it's checking like so that's query. So it's like something equals something else. That's not what I want. I actually want this, which is the sections, which is the ID up top here. Um, that is probably gonna be something different, isn't it? I want like a path parameter and maybe like the path broken out. We could throw in like a query parameter, like task equals, like task ID equals 316. That would be helpful in like getting that query, but let's see, not necessarily helpful here. Let's see if see back into here. Where are we grabbing? It's not. We have our ID that's set up there, and then this is sort of like being passed to us. But maybe we can get the route and grab that information out of it. Like, what is our current route? Maybe that will give us the information. Let's go to not nav bar, but the edit buttons. Okay, let's try this again. So we want let current route equals. Okay, so we can use location, or we can use history. Let's try use history. Unwrap you. That gives us an any history. Do I have to tell you what type you're getting? Like, can I do another dot? We can get location. Maybe we can get the location of this, or we can use the location, the use location. So if I do that, now we have an any location. What do we have access to here? Will you tell me? Maybe? Do I have to? Okay, so I know we can also use location. Let's go straight to use location. Okay, so there's an option, any location. Do you take in a type? No, it doesn't look like you do. So it's an any location. I want to like essentially cast this, like get the type that I want. And do into, we have the path name. We have route. Okay, so let's get the route. We have to then take in a type here. Okay, we have that route. We're going to unwrap you because we know we're always inside of a route when hitting this. Now, we could match potentially. Yeah, so I could match this. Or we can do an if let. So what if I do something like this? Let our task ID is going to be equal to an if let. This is going to be a route one task. So we want the edit buttons to be there if we're in sort of like the one task. Okay, so we're going to get the ID, make that an ID. It's equal to current route. And then return this ID. Now, if this ID doesn't exist, we need to return something else, or we have to exit at some point in time. I wonder if I want to like put this down here. Like, what do I want to do? Like, if this doesn't exist, I have to return this number. Like, do I return 0? Do I just early exit from the program and I return just absolutely nothing for HTML? If I return 0, that is like a default number. Technically that would work, but that might cause some weirdness for us. Let's try this for right now and just sort of like see how it feels. Technically, if we get here, we should always have a task ID. So we might be able to get away also with this is unreachable. Now, if this is unreachable and it actually is reached, this is going to cause a panic and crash. Probably also important for us to know. Okay, so then I want task ID is just to set you there like that. All right, no errors here. Let's see what happens. So I'm gonna head back home, no edit button, no warning, no error. Come into here, edit button is fun, and if I highlight it, that is going to task 316, which is where we are. And if we go to the other one, that is going to 317. Okay, perfect. So I think we have that working now. So let's clean this up and make this look a little bit better. And then that'll be it for this sort of recording here. All right, so task ID. Do I want this also display in when we're editing? Probably, just to sort of show where we are. So I kind of want to change this to a match. So let's match the current route. Now in home and create account and login, I don't care about these. So we're going to get rid of you, and I'm going to turn that into a just underscore catch-all, and we're going to just have the unreachable here. You, however, are to-dos, and so we want to return this ID for either of them. And they're both U32s. They'll both go into this task ID, which then gets returned down here. What are you upset about? You need to be now a semicolon because this is now an expression. And there we go. Okay, so I like this a little bit better. We could also throw this into a function where we like pass current route in and it just gives it back to us. Right now it's not too complex in here, so I'm okay with this. We'll just sort of keep our eye on it. Anyways, for this right now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and, well, actually, am I going to, what are you testing? You're testing this edit button exists, and then you're gonna try to click it, which I can't see. Let's run our tests. Yeah, so it successfully clicked the button, and now it wants to get the editing title. So it now wants to see that this title here is, instead of just being a big title like this, is now an input box that we can now update and change that title. I'm thinking that we can start working on that form probably in the next video. So let's go ahead and do a quick commit for all of these things. And let's see, what do we do here? We are, oh, this is part of our 10th live coding session. And there we go. All right. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.